This video is about Zeus summons storm until heroes escape. If this myth excites you, please like the video, share it with friends, and write in the comments how it pulled you into the adventure. In the realm of Olympus, where the golden palaces gleamed and the sky sparkled with divine radiance, a shadow loomed. The gods, seated upon their thrones, whispered of foreboding events to come. Among them, Zeus, the king of gods, felt a tremor in his heart. In a mortal world below, the village of Elysia lay nestled under the watchful eye of Mount Helios. Its people lived simple lives, unaware of the cosmic strings being pulled above. But one fateful dawn, as the sun's first rays kissed the earth, Zeus rose with a thunderous roar. Enough of this complacency, he bellowed, his voice echoing like 1,000 storms across the heavens. The clouds swelled darkly in response, mirroring his rage. The mortals have forgotten my power, their sacrifices dwindle, and my honor is at stake. I will send a storm, and they shall remember. As the winds howled violently, the goddess Hera, regal and wise, approached her husband. What folly drives you to unleash such fury upon innocents? There are better ways to remind them of your might. Zeus, his eyes gleaming with tempestuous fire, replied, "They must learn respect, even if it requires the shattering of their peace. They shall either bow to my will or perish, knowing the cost of their hubris." Far below, in Elysia, a young warrior named Dorian felt the wind shift. He had long dreamed of proving his worth, longing to etch his name into the annals of legend. With his trusty sword, forged by the blacksmiths of Aegis, he trained tirelessly, envisioning the battles that awaited him. Amidst his training, Dorian's childhood friend, Alara, a fierce archer, approached him with worry etched upon her brow. "The winds carry whispers of a great storm, Dorian. The elders speak of the wrath of Zeus. We must prepare." Dorian, ever the optimist, laughed lightly. "If it is a storm they speak of, let it come. We are strong. I shall protect Elysia." He unsheathed his sword, the blade glinting in the sun. But his bravado faded when dark clouds began to gather like vultures overhead. The first drops of rain fell, heavy and foreboding, and the sky split open with a roar. Thunder echoed across the valley, shaking Elysia to its very core. The villagers ran for shelter, their faces painted with fear and confusion. As Dorian and Alara hurried to gather their families, the storm unleashed its fury, winds howling like banshees. Lightning struck the mountain, illuminating a figure emerging from the shadows. It was Calix, the once great warrior now cursed to roam the earth as a spectre, seeking redemption. "Foolish mortals, do you not see? The wrath of the gods knows no mercy." Calix's voice was a haunting melody, drawing the attention of Dorian and Alara. "You must flee. A tempest, unlike any other, will sweep through Elysia. Why should we trust you?" Dorian challenged, gripping his sword tightly. "You are but a ghost of past failures." Calix's sorrowful gaze hardened. "Once, I was betrayed by those I loved. I sought power without honor. I stand before you now, a warning. The storm that approaches is not merely of wind and rain, it is a reckoning." As the tempest grew fiercer, Dorian felt a flicker of fear. Was this truly their destiny? He turned to Alara, the resolve in her heart unwavering. "We cannot abandon our home. We must fight." And fight they would. As the sky darkened, the storm that Zeus summoned unleashed not just rain and wind, but creatures of nightmare. Monstrous beasts, born of thunderclouds and fury, descended upon Elysia, wreaking havoc. The villagers rallied, grabbing weapons and torches. Dorian stood at the forefront, his heart pounding with the weight of responsibility. "For Elysia, for our homes, we will not bend to the storm." He charged into the fray, his sword slicing through the chaos, emboldening those around him. But the storm grew more ferocious. Conjuring lightning struck harpies and serpentine beasts that slithered through the air. Dorian fought valiantly, but despair weighed heavily upon him. For every harpy they struck down, 2 more took its place. Alara, swift and unyielding, fired arrows into the skies, her instincts guiding her aim. "Aim for the hearts of the beasts, we must thin their numbers," she shouted, inspiring hope amidst the chaos. They fought as one, side by side, their bond stronger than the storm raging around them. But as Dorian felled a monstrous creature, a deafening clap of thunder resonated. The ground trembled beneath them, and in that moment the skies opened wide. Zeus himself, adorned in robes of stormy clouds, descended in a whirlwind of fury. "Mortals, you seek to defy me?" His voice was a tempest, shaking the very earth beneath their feet. "Your defiant shall be met with punishment." Dorian's heart raced as he faced the god of thunder. "We do not defy you, great Zeus. We fight for our survival." His voice trembled, but he stood firm, resolved. Zeus's eyes flickered with intrigue. He had not expected such defiance. "You are brave, young warrior, but bravery alone cannot protect you from my wrath." With that, he lifted his hand, summoning a spiral of lightning towards Dorian. In that fateful moment, Calix stepped forward, his ghostly form shimmering with ethereal light. "Great Zeus, spare these mortals. If they seek only to protect their home, I implore you to see their valor, not their folly." Zeus paused, a glimmer of uncertainty crossing his face. "Why should I listen to you, wretched spirit?" His voice thundered, but Calix stood resolute. "Because I have witnessed the price of pride and betrayal, I have walked the path of despair. Let these mortals live, and I shall share what I know of the storm you summon," Calix pleaded. The storm momentarily stilled, uncertainty casting a shadow over the battlefield. Dorian's heart raced, a flicker of hope igniting within him. If Calix could sway Zeus, perhaps they had a chance. "We wish to learn, we seek to honor you, great god, if you will teach us." Hero, watching from Olympus, intervened, her voice smooth as silk. "My husband, perhaps a test is in order. Let them prove their worth before your judgment. Send the storm, but grant them a chance to escape." Zeus, with a scowl, nodded slowly. "Very well, the storm shall rage, but if you survive, you shall earn my favor." He raised his hand, and the winds howled anew, even more ferocious than before. With a wave of his arm, the ground shook, and a colossal wave formed, crashing towards Elysia like a great beast unleashed. Dorian felt dread wash over him, but resolve hardened his spirit. "We will not falter, we will survive together." As the tidal wave crashed down, Dorian shouted for his people to flee. "To the cliffs, we can escape through the caves." Elara nodded, rallying the villagers with arrows held high, their spirits ignited in defiance. The storm roared, echoing the battle cry of gods and mortals alike. They raced towards the cliffs, the power of the tempest chasing their every step. But not all would make it. Monsters surged from the waves, eager to claim the lives of those who defied Zeus. One by one, they fell, but Dorian and Elara pressed on, harp handing with fear and determination. They reached the cave entrance, the roar of the tempest pulsating behind them. "Keep moving," Dorian bellowed, fighting back the despair threatening to engulf him. As they entered the darkness, he turned back, seeing Elara struggling to hold back the tide of creatures. "Elara, go, I will hold them off. Now we fight together." Elara shot back, her voice fierce. With a deep breath, Dorian plunged into the fray, sword clashing against monster flesh as the cave trembled. He would not allow fear to claim his heart, he would fight for his friend, for Elysia, for destiny itself. The storm raged on, echoing the battle beyond the cave. Would they survive the wrath of the gods? Would their names be etched in legend, or would they be forgotten in the storm? As the cavern walls echoed with the desperation of warriors, one thing became clear: the storm was just the beginning. Heroes would rise, destinies would intertwine, and the battle for survival would write a new chapter in the annals of myth. But would it end in triumph or tragedy? Only time would tell. With the cave's mouth yawning before them, Dorian and Elara plunged into the darkness, hearts racing in sync with the howling tempest outside. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth, and the distant roar of the storm echoed, inching closer, like a predator stalking its prey. "Stay close," Dorian whispered, gripping Elara's arm as they navigated the uneven ground. Shadows loomed, twisting into surreal shapes that danced in the minimal light filtering from the entrance. He could feel the weight of despair, mingling with their resolve. Was this their end? Suddenly, a bone-chilling shriek shattered the silence. Dorian's instincts kicked in as he spun, sword ready. Emerging from the shadows, a wretched creature, a hybrid of man and monster, lunged at them. Its eyes were wild with fury, skin slick with rain and darkness. "Stand back!" Dorian shouted, thrusting his sword with precision. The blade sliced through the air, finding its mark in the creature's chest. It let out a howl of anguish, collapsed into the ground, but more followed. Their snarls a terrifying chorus that promised chaos. "More are coming," Elara warned, knocking an arrow to her bow. She fired with deadly accuracy, the projectile striking true, but the numbers were overwhelming. For every monster they felled, two more emerged from the shadows, remnants of the storm's wrath. "We can hold them off forever," Dorian yelled, his voice strained as he fought off another attacker, parrying its feral claws just in time. "We need a plan." As if summoned by his words, a low rumble resonated from deep within the cave, sending vibrations through the ground. What was that? Elara asked, her voice tinged with dread. "An echo of the storm," Dorian said, glancing back towards the cave entrance. He could still hear the distant chaos outside, the clash of metal and the roar of the waves crashing against the cliffs. "We must find another way out or risk being trapped here." "Follow me." Alara commanded, her voice resolute, leading the way deeper into the cavern. They navigated through winding tunnels, the light from the entrance fading with every step. Each heartbeat echoed like a war drum, a reminder of their fragile existence. As they ventured further, the cave opened into a vast chamber, illuminated by an eerie luminescence of phosphorescent glow emanating from strange crystals embedded in the walls. The sight was mesmerizing, but Dorian felt the air thrum with ancient power. "What is this place?" Alara murmured, her eyes wide with awe. Perhaps a forgotten temple, Dorian speculated, recalling tales of ancient gods who had once roamed these lands. "We should be cautious, the energy here feels alive." Just then, the ground trembled again, and from the darkness emerged a titan of stone, a guardian of this sacred space. Its eyes glowed with a fierce light, and its voice echoed like thunder. "Who dares disturb the sanctity of the Cave of Echoes?" Dorian stepped forward, sword raised, heart pounding with equal parts fear and defiance. "We mean no harm. We are mortals seeking refuge from the storm, the wrath of Zeus himself. We fight for our home, for our survival." The Titan regarded him with a mixture of curiosity and disdain. "You mortals are often foolish, believing your bravery can sway the divine, but I sense your hearts strong, yet burdened by destiny." Alara, emboldened by Dorian's courage, added, "We seek not to challenge the gods, but to survive their judgment. If we can prove ourselves worthy, then perhaps they will spare our village." The Titan pondered, the tension in the air thickening. "The storm is a test, a trial of fate. Many have come before you, yet few have succeeded. Should you wish to escape, you must face the trials of this cavern." "What trials?" Dorian asked, dread creeping into his voice. "3 challenges shall you face," the Titan intoned, its voice booming like thunder. "Only by overcoming them shall you emerge with your lives intact, but beware, the price of failure is steep." "Whatever it takes, we will face them," Dorian declared, his resolve unwavering. Alara nodded, determination lighting her features. "Very well," the Titan said, raising its massive stone hand. "Prepare yourselves for the first trial. The shadows shall become your adversaries." Suddenly, darkness enveloped the chamber, swallowing them whole. Dorian's heart raced as he felt the ground shift beneath his feet. They were ensnared within a realm of shadows, each flicker of light extinguished, leaving only an oppressive gloom that hummed with an eerie energy. "Dorian!" Alara's voice echoed, panic seeping into her tone. "Where are you?" "I am here," he replied, trying to remain calm as he felt the shadows closing in. "Stay close. We must find a way to fight against this darkness." The shadows twisted around them, morphing into ghostly figures that whispered regrets and fears, probing at the edges of their minds. Dorian felt the weight of despair trying to drag him down, but he steeled himself, remembering the village, Alara, and a fight for their future. "Face your fears," he shouted, drawing upon every ounce of courage. "They cannot touch us unless we allow them." Alara's voice rang out, strong and defiant. "We are not alone, we have each other, and together we can overcome anything." She drew her bow, the string taut as she fired arrows that illuminated the darkness, creating fleeting glimpses of hope. With every arrow she shot, Dorian felt the shadows recoil, whispering in frustration. "We were breaking through," he exclaimed, realizing that their combined strength was shattering the illusion. "Keep going, Alara." As they fought together, the oppressive darkness slowly dissipated, revealing the Titan once more. "You have passed the first trial, proving your bond can withstand even the darkest fears," it proclaimed, the rumble of its voice echoing in the chamber. "Only 2 more remain," it warned. "Prepare yourselves, for the next challenge shall test your will." With a wave of the Titan's hand, the shadows melted away, replaced by a swirling mist that engulfed them, each breath heavy with dread and anticipation. "Stay ready," Dorian murmured, feeling the air thrum with energy. As the mist cleared, they found themselves standing on the edge of a chasm, a gaping abyss that seemed to stretch into eternity. "Before you lies the trial of sacrifice," the Titan intoned. "One must leap into the chasm, trusting that their leap of faith will lead to salvation." "Leap into the abyss?" Dorian echoed incredulously. "That madness, what if—" But Alara gently placed a hand upon his shoulder, silencing his fears. "Dorian, we must trust that our journey together has brought us here for a reason. If we are to survive, we must believe." With a heavy heart, Dorian nodded, realizing that the trial was not merely about the leap, it was about trust, about believing in each other and the strength of their bond. Taking a deep breath, he stepped to the edge of the chasm. "Together," he said, locking eyes with Alara. "On 3. 1, 2, 3. They leaped hand in hand into the void, a rush of air and uncertainty engulfing them as they fell. Time seemed suspended in the abyss, and for a moment, dread clawed at their hearts. But just as despair threatened to claim them, a surge of light enveloped them, lifting them higher. With a crash, they landed safely on solid ground, disoriented but alive. "We did it!" Dorian exclaimed, relief flooding through him. "You trusted in each other, and that has saved you," the Titan's voice resounded, echoing through the chamber. "Now prepare for the final trial, the trial of honor." As the air shimmered with anticipation, Dorian braced himself for what lay ahead. Shadows danced around them, forming into spectral warriors, their faces etched with rage and sorrow. They bore the weight of ancient grudges, ready to fight for vengeance. "You must face your own reflections, the mistakes of your past," the Titan proclaimed. "Only by confronting the truth can you emerge victorious." "Dorian," Alara whispered, fear creeping into her voice as she faced the specter of a fallen comrade. "What if we can't face them?" "We must," Dorian replied, drawing his sword. "They are part of us, our failures, our regrets, but we can use them to fuel our strength." "Come forth, then," the specter hissed, eyes blazing with sorrow. "Face your judgment." Dorian charged forward, sword clashing against the ghostly warrior. Each strike felt like a battle against his own guilt, memories of battles he had lost, friends he had failed. But with every swing, he felt Alara by his side, her unwavering spirit anchoring him in the storm. "Remember who you are," she shouted, firing arrows at the approaching specters, her voice a beacon amidst the chaos. "You are not your past, you are the hero we need." With renewed resolve, Dorian fought alongside her, each blow resonating with the power of their bond. As they felled the specters, Zeus summoned storm until heroes escape. Part 3 The ethereal glow of the cave flared with intensity, shadows receding as Dorian and Alara stood resolutely against the spectral warriors. Each clash of sword against ghostly steel echoed like a drumbeat of war, resonating through the ancient chambers. Dorian's heart raced, fueled by a blend of fear and determination. The specters sought to claim him, whispering taunts of his failures, but he cast aside their venomous words. "You are not my judge," he roared, the volume of his voice rising above the chaos. Alara, ever steadfast, loosed arrows that struck true, shimmering through the darkness. Together, she rallied, her fierce spirit igniting a fire within him. "We fight for our home, for our people, we are not alone." "Indeed," the Titan echoed, its voice booming throughout the cavern. "Face your past, and learn to honor your journey, only then shall you find the strength to triumph over destiny." With renewed vigor, Dorian pushed forward, channeling every ounce of his training, each memory of his village, and every life he sought to protect. The specters lunged, their swords forged from anguish and regret, but he countered their strikes with an unyielding resolve. "Remember?" Alara cried, her arrows flying in a mesmerizing dance, illuminating the darkness. "What we've faced, what we've lost, have made us stronger. We are not defined by our failures." The specter confronting Dorian transformed into a ghostly visage of Calyx, the fallen warrior. "You are a fool, Dorian. You cannot save those you've lost, nor can you erase your mistakes." "Perhaps not," Dorian admitted, his sword clashing against Calyx's spectral blade. "But I can honor the memories by fighting for those still with me." Each word rang with conviction, like a beacon against the darkness. "Then fight," the specter commanded, the fury in its voice igniting Dorian's spirit. They clashed again and again, the weight of their shared history fueling Dorian's resolve. With each strike, he banished doubts, fortifying his bond with Alara. The Titan observed, its eyes gleaming with approval as Dorian's prowess grew. "You have learned well, young warrior, but the true test lies ahead. Embrace your honor, for it is the path to victory." Alara, watching Dorian with admiration, felt a surge of energy. "We must not yield, our honor is our strength," she called out, releasing arrows that found their targets, igniting fire within spirits past. With each specter fallen, Dorian felt a swell of hope. "These warriors seek redemption," he declared, carving through the last remaining ghostly figures. "Let us honor their sacrifices by surviving together." As the final specter fell, the cavern erupted in a blinding light, revealing the Titan's massive form once more. "You have passed the trial of honor, proving that your bonds can conquer even the weight of your past. Now, the way forward is yours." Dorian and Alara exchanged relieved glances. "We did it," Alara breathed. "But what awaits us now?" "Only the path to escape," the Titan intoned, the ground trembling as it raised its hand once more. "But beware, for the storm still rages above, and Zeus watches with keen interest." As the Titan spoke, the cave began to shake violently. Dorian grabbed Alara's arm, bracing himself. "We must move whatever lies beyond this chamber. We cannot allow it to claim us." Emerging from the cave's mouth, they were greeted by chaos, a tempest roiling above, clouds black as night swelling among flashes of lightning. The storm raged unchecked, a furious manifestation of Zeus' wrath, and the winds howled like the wails of tormented souls. "We must find shelter," Dorian shouted, straining against the winds that threatened to tear them apart. "To the cliffs, the caves may provide protection." As they sprinted towards the rocky outcrop, Dorian caught a glimpse of Elysia, the village now cloaked in shadows, the very earth trembling under Zeus' might. "We will save them," he vowed, clenching his jaw. Alara shot a determined look his way, her heart beating in time with his fervor. Together, Dorian, for Elysia. But as they neared the cliffs, monstrous beings emerged from the storm, twisted forms born of Zeus' wrath. Thunderous hooves struck the ground, accompanied by the guttural roars of beasts, creatures of nightmares, their eyes gleaming with malice. "Hold fast," Dorian yelled, drawing his sword, adrenaline surging through him. "We cut a path through them." Alara readied her bow, her fingers steady. "We fight our way through. For every monster we fell, we save a life." With unyielding resolve, she released arrow after arrow, each one striking true against the approaching beasts. A monstrous chimera, its serpentine tail wielding venom and fury, lunged at Dorian, jaws snapping inches from his face. With a deft sidestep, he countered, plunging his sword into his side. The creature shrieked, a dreadful sound vibrating through the air, before collapsing into a heap. "Onward," he shouted, adrenaline pumping through his veins. But more beasts surged forth, a relentless tide of fury. "We can't hold them off forever." Alara shot arrow after arrow, a blur of motion. "We must reach the cliffs, they are our only hope." With unwavering determination, they pressed on, the storm raging around them. Behind them, the village of Elysia lay in peril, and Dorian could not let them down. The weight of fate bore down upon him, their survival depended on his resolve. Suddenly, a blinding flash of lightning illuminated the battlefield, revealing Calix's spirit hovering above the fray. "Dorian, Alara," he called, his voice echoing with urgency. "You must draw upon the strength of those who believed in you, honor their memories. Remember our families, our friends, every life that depends on our courage." Dorian roared, rallying against the encroaching monsters. He fought with renewed vigor, each strike a tribute to those he held dear. Alara stood beside him, firing arrows that cut through the dark. "They fight through us. We are not alone in this battle." As they fought, Dorian's heart surged with the memories of laughter and joy, the faces of those they fought to protect flooding his mind. He could feel their strength infusing his every blow. Through sheer will and determination, they carved a path through the monstrous horde, reaching the base of the cliffs. The storm's fury intensified, rain pelting down like arrows, but their spirits remained unbroken. "Up the cliffs we'll find safety," Dorian urged, scrambling over the rocky terrain. Alara followed, her resolve unwavering as she covered their rear, firing arrows into the darkness. But the beasts that had pursued them were relentless, climbing the cliffs, eager to claim their prey. Dorian turned, sword in hand, ready to defend their ascent. "We will not fall here. We will not be defeated." "Together," Alara echoed, her voice rising above the storm. "For Elysia, for our future." As they reached the top, the storm surged around them, a furious tempest of divine wrath. Dorian turned to face the onslaught, sword held firm. The beasts lunged, howling with rage, and he met them with unyielding strength. Lightning struck, illuminating the battlefield, revealing a monstrous beast that towered over them, a storm golem, forged from the very essence of Zeus' fury. "You dare challenge the will of the gods," it bellowed, its voice shaking the ground beneath their feet. "Not for long," Dorian shouted back defiantly, charging at the golem. "We fight not only for ourselves, but for all who live beneath the storm." With a swift movement, he struck the golem, the blade biting through its stone flesh. But it retaliated, hammering the earth with its fists, sending shockwaves through the ground. "Alara, aim for its heart," Dorian shouted, dodging its blows. She nodded, instinct guiding her as she knocked an arrow, her heart pounding with determination. "For Elysia." As Dorian continued to attack the golem's legs, distracting it, Alara steadied her aim. She released the arrow, the projectile soaring through the tempest, finding its mark. The golem let out a bellow, its form shaking as cracks splintered across its colossal body. With a surge of energy, Dorian pressed on, striking again and again. "We will not fall, we will not be silenced." Each blow felt like a battle against fate itself, and he fought with the spirit of every soul yearning to survive. Alara joined him in their assault, firing arrows with precision, a relentless storm of hope and fury. The golem staggered, its form beginning to collapse, and with a final, desperate roar, it crumbled into dust, the storm above momentarily stilled. In that brief silence, the air crackled with energy, revealing the figure of Zeus, his presence looming like a tempest. ****Zeus summons storm until heroes escape. Part 4 ****. The storm raged around them like a feral beast, howling with the fury of Zeus himself. Dorian and Alara stood atop the cliffs, breathless from their battle against the storm golem. But the momentary silence was a mere lull before the next wave of divine wrath. As Zeus descended, his eyes burned like twin suns, fury twisting his features into a mask of wrath. "You dare challenge the heavens?" His voice echoed like thunder, rattling the very foundations of the earth. Dorian met his gaze, heart pounding like the war drums of old. "We fight not against you, mighty Zeus, but for our home, our people. We defy your storm only to save those who cannot save themselves." Alara, standing resolutely by his side, raised her bow, the string taut with defiance. "Your wrath is a test, not a curse. We embrace the challenge for the sake of Elysia." Zeus's laughter was a tempestuous roar, swirling clouds forming monstrous shapes overhead. "Bravery will earn you no favor. You are but mortals, and I am the storm incarnate." With a furious gesture, he summoned winds that whipped around them, lifting Dorian and Alara off their feet. They struggled against the force, bodies strained, but they did not relent. "Stand strong, Alara," Dorian shouted over the howl of the wind. "Remember why we fight." As if in response, a vision of Elysia flashed before them, vivid memories of laughter, love, and hope. It fueled their spirits, igniting a fire that surged within. "Together!" Alara cried, her voice piercing through the roaring winds. "We are more than this storm." Seizing the moment, Dorian drew upon all he had learned in the cave, every lesson from the Titan, every sacrifice made by the spirits they had faced. "We will not bow to your might, Zeus. We will honor the strength of those we love." With a rallying cry, Dorian lunged forward, sword drawn, charging toward the storm god. The winds howled in protest, twisting and pulling at him, but he pressed on, ignited by unyielding courage. Alara followed closely, her arrows flying through the air, shimmering bright against the darkest backdrop. For Elysia, she shouted, each arrow promised to those who depended on them. Zeus, momentarily taken aback by their fierce determination, raised a hand to summon lightning. "You will learn the folly of your defiance." But Dorian, undeterred, swung his blade, channeling the energy of the tempest around him. He felt its raw power thrumming against his skin, transforming his fear into strength. "No more, we will not be the pawns in your game." With a swift, calculated strike, he aimed for the heart of the storm. His sword, glinting with divine energy, cut through the winds, finding its mark against Zeus's arm. The deity stumbled, surprise flickering in his stormy gaze. "Foolish mortal, you think you can best a god," thundered Zeus, but beneath the explosion of fury, a flicker of respect glimmered. Dorian pressed the advantage, stepping forward, fury mingling with desperation. "We fight for more than ourselves. We fight for destiny, for honor." Alara joined him, arrows raining down like meteors. "Your storm cannot extinguish our fire. We are the children of Elysia, and we will rise." As the winds roared in retaliation, Zeus's face twisted in a mix of anger and fascination. "Bravery is commendable, but it can lead to ruin. You think your resolve is enough." The storm intensified, billowing clouds swirling in a frenzied dance. A new wave of monsters emerged, twisted forms born of tempest, snarling and shrieking as they surged towards Dorian and Alara. "Dorian!" Alara shouted, knocking another arrow with precision. "More are coming." Dorian's heart pounded as he fought against the tide of chaos. "We want to yield, fight for Elysia." As the first beast lunged, a nightmarish hybrid of scales and shadows, Dorian sidestepped, slashing his sword through the air. The creature screamed, collapsing in a heap. But the next beast, a monstrous harpy, wings beating furiously, swooped down, talons poised to strike. "Watch out!" Alara yelled, her voice sharp. Dorian ducked, rolling to the side, his breath catching as the beast narrowly missed him. He sprang to his feet, determination fueling him. "Keep moving, we can't let them flank us." With Alara covering his back, they fought with precision and purpose. Each beast slain was a testament to their resolve, the echoes of battle ringing through the storm. "Courage, Dorian, we are the light against the darkness." Alara encouraged, her arrows striking true against the foes. But Zeus unleashed a surge of power, creating a whirlwind that propelled the monsters forward with renewed rage. "You cannot escape the storm. Your defiance shall be your undoing." "Not if we stand united," Dorian shouted, his voice rising above the chaos. Together, they carve a path through the monstrous horde, fueled by the memories of their home, the laughter of children, the warmth of families gathered, the fragrance of the fields they had fought to protect. But just as they thought they had gained the upper hand, the winds howled, and Zeus, furious, unleashed another wave of lightning. Enough you will know despair. With a tremor, the ground beneath them shook, and Dorian stumbled, losing his footing. Alara shouted his name as she knocked another arrow, firing it into the tempest. "Dorian, hold on!" A flash of light erupted, and for a brief moment, Dorian felt a surge of power coursing through him. "Alara, I can feel it. We can push back." With every ounce of strength, he formed a barrier of wool against the storm. "Together, we are one spirit." Alara, inspired by his resolve, loosed her arrows into the swirling tempest. For hope, for Elijah. The arrows created a shield of light that clashed against Zeus's fury, momentarily stalling the goddess' onslaught. All at once, the storm stuttered as if shocked by their defiance. "Awe!" Dorian called, "This is our moment." With a surge of determination, they charged forward, the bond strengthening as they faced Zeus and the growing tempest. "We will claim our destiny," Dorian shouted, sword raised high. As they pressed on, the storm god narrowed his eyes, intrigue mingling with his fury. "Bravery is admirable, but your journey ends here." Yet, with every step they took, the energy of Elijah flooded through them, an unbreakable bond forged in love, sacrifice, and hope. They were not alone. The spirits of their ancestors surged alongside them, guiding their hands and hearts. "Do you not see?" Dorian shouted, defiance ringing in his voice. "We are the guardians of Elijah. We will not perish in your storm." And in that moment, a blinding light erupted from within them, a manifestation of hope and unity. The storm shrieked, its fury dissipating against the radiant force they had conjured. Zeus stared, awe mingling with anger. "What is this power?" His voice trembled, uncertainty lacing his words. "It is the will of the people," Alara declared, strength echoing in her voice. "It is the fire of all those who believe in us." With that, they surged forward like a bolt of lightning, cutting through the remaining darkness. The storm raged, but Dorian and Alara stood unwavering, their spirits intertwined, pushing against the tide of despair. "Let Elijah rise," Dorian shouted as they reached the apex of the cliffs, the storm howling beneath them. With one final, climactic charge, they thrust their energies forward, surging against the storm in a brilliant explosion of light that illuminated the sky. The heavens split open, revealing not just their courage but the pulse of divine energy, a testament to their unyielding spirit. And in that moment, the storm shattered, dissipating into nothingness. Zeus recoiled, the realization dawning in his eyes. "No, this cannot be." But it was too late. The winds quelled, the monsters retreated, and the first rays of dawn broke through the clouds, casting a radiant light upon Elijah below. Dorian and Alara stood on the precipice, breathing heavily, hearts racing with the thrill of triumph. "We did it," Alara whispered, tears of relief glistening in her eyes. "We fought for our destiny," Dorian replied, his voice thick with emotion. "And we will continue to fight, for Elijah endures." As the storm faded, the villagers emerged from their hiding places, witnessing the dawn of a new era. They came together, united in the strength of their shared experience, and in that moment, a new legend was born. The names of Dorian and Alara would echo through